Hey, Shalom, I want to start off as always by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors you brothers doing the work in truth, war, sincerity. It's got a quick one. This is Matthew 5 and 11. Well, no, just gonna jump in straight. A bit of backstory. So this is just doing a video of the with one of the brothers in the camp, right? And basically, the Spirit spoke on the point that a great millstone. We fit the prophecies, man. We fit the prophecies of what starting off with the apostles on down. We fit the prophecies of what the men of the Lord will be doing and will have to go through in these last days. Right? Just like how we know that those Amalekites, those gutter rats of the land of Israel, just how we know that they ain't the true Jews because they don't fit the prophecies. Just how we know that we're, the true Israelites according to prophecy. We know that these are the camps. They ain't it through prophecy. Right? And that whole Joy Morgan case is another example of this, right? Because you know what, I mean, I was watching the videos that the apostles are dead on the matter, where you basically had, was it Judah Mack getting emotional, man, right? Where here it is, a member of IUIC has, from the reports, killed another member of IUIC, and Great Millstone's name is being brought up. And no matter what you do, no matter what it is that goes on, is in Israel, Great Millstone just keeps being the name Great Millstone, right? Basically keeps being thrown in the mud, right? But once again, the scripture says that this would happen, right? This is Matthew 5 and 11. It says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake, right? Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, right? For great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you," right? Your scripture says in Romans, right? All things written aforetime were written for our learning. They persecuted the prophets. That's why the scripture says, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, now that killest the prophets." Right? You read Hebrews 11, but what some of them went through, right? Summarized in one chapter. Right? Well, but it says, shall say manner of evil against you for my sake, right? What IUIC are going through this whole Joy Morgan thing, right? That ain't for the sake of the Lord. Right? They're not going through that for the sake of, Yahweh Shai or Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Right? They're going through that because of wickedness, man. Right? I believe it was Apostle Rhymelab's video where he was basically going into the fact that, look, man, hey, where was Nate? Hey, something like that happens in Great Millstone, that gets spoken about immediately, man. Right, you had the guy who did the video with this woman, right? The apostle spoken that immediately. They saw it, and I was like, oh shit, hey, and in transit, on the way back from the camp, the video was made. So where is Nate? Why is he hiding? Why is he always hiding? Why is he gonna make a video in like a week or 2 weeks time? Just like with the whole thing with the pocket, right? And then he goes there, oh, Israel, it's so cold, right? Scripture says, prophecy says, you shall see your teachers, man. RTA, apostles of Great Millstone, they out there on the highways and the byways, man. That's another thing, right? And I mean, no disrespect, but the apostles, they're getting up in age, man. Yet they're still out there in the cold, man. Right, so what are these guys' excuses, these other camps? Right? These are young men. You have young men, and they're making excuses. Yeah, and then this is... I remember one thing Apostle Gabar said one time. Right, he was, in speaking about health and smoothies, right? And he bought himself a juice. A juice, I think, was like $200 or whatever. And he made a statement, it's like, you'll spend that much on a bitch, man. He didn't put it, as crude as that. Excuse my French, right? But he said, you spend that on a woman, man, easily. Right? So you applying that same here, these same guys all say, oh, it's too cold to do, to go out and do the work of the Lord. Right? If their woman said they wanted to go winter wonderland, guess what? They would be there. Why? Because they put their woman above Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? They just ain't right, man. But even on this scripture here, right? I'm a get this as well. It says 2 Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee, right? Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, right? Incredulity means the unbelief, right? So those that don't believe, right? Don't let their unbelief affect you, because as we just read, these things were to happen, right? These things were prophesied to happen, right? So when it comes, hey, it is what it is. Keep it moving. Right? It is actually a sign that that the right things are happening in Greatmillstone. Right? Because we're being persecuted for the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Right? So Luke 21:17 says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And who pushes the name? Right? It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Hey, vocab hates us. Oh, he hates us. Right? Starting with the apostles on down. Right? All of these other camps, for the most part, a lot of them has shit to say about Greatmillstone. Right? What's his bastards that whole black unconsciousness, man. Right? They hate us. I was thinking of polite when I said bastard, right? Which fuck all them guys, man. Right? Because end of the day, hey, if they don't get right with the Lord's gonna destroy them. And excuse my cursing. Sometimes that's just how it is. Right, so 2 Ezra 2:42, and it's not even cursing. Excuse my non-parental guidance language, my 12a language, right? It says 2 Ezra 2:42, and I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs, right? It says the elect, right, with the 144,000, right, with the just basically the body of the elect, right? And who else speaks? Who speaks on that? Who's constantly mentioning the elect, right? The 1/3, right? The multitude that will be saved from all the world. Who's speaking about that constantly, right? It says, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now they crown and receive palms, right? So we confess the name of the Most High. Who's constantly pushing the name? What group is constantly pushing the name, right? Yeah, you might have one or two other camps that speak on the name, but so far, who's doing who is receiving the bad rep, right? Who's pushing the elect? Who's pushing the name? Who's doing all of these things, right? Who's pushing the mark of the beast? Who's warning the people? Who's being a trumpet, right? Telling the people and warning the people of the evil that is to come. It says, and I will confess the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Right, then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Right, then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Right, so Greatmillstone, starting with the apostles on down, right, they're the only ones that's been getting, so, obviously the Lord is pissed, right? But on earth, right, it seems like we're the only ones just getting pissed off at the fact that these guys are just straight disrespecting the name of the Lord. yet they've all got Hebrew names. Right? And also, he says, whom they have confessed in the world. Because you know what? What does Yahushua represent? Yahushua said he came in the whole volume of the book. Right? So when the apostles brought out what the law says concerning the rape of a woman that isn't married or betrothed, right? The whole world went up in arms. No one said go and do it. Right? All we did was say this is what the law said. This is what it is. Right? And everyone got emotional. No one wants to teach that. Why? Because it's against this world. Right? This world, you even say that word, you're even accused of that. Even if you get off, even if it's proven without a shadow of a doubt the bitch was crazy and she made it all up. Just having that attached to your name, you through, man. Right, but that's part of the truth. That is the truth. And that was a stumbling block for all the people that the Lord didn't want. Right? This is for 1 John 2:20, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Now, who's the only camp that goes around saying, look, we've got 100% truth? Right? Concerning these scriptures, Greatmillstone, obviously with the apostles on down, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we have 100% truth, man. Only one camp goes around boldly saying that. This is Deuteronomy 29:29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our power, right? So there are things that the Lord has, kept for himself, right? For instance, the day that Yahushua is to come back on this earth, right? And bring down this kingdom, that is a secret. Right? That is the Lord. And there are certain other intricate things that the Lord, Yahweh, right, has kept unto himself. Right? It says, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Right? So of all the things that the Lord Yahweh has revealed, Greatmillstone has 100% of it. And it's all truth. Why are you going to trust someone that's, got 95% truth? Because you know what you're going to do? There might be something, as a man, you don't agree with. So you're going to be like, maybe this is the 5% that, they don't, that isn't truth. Right? So once again, someone's going to have 100% truth, right? Someone's going to have the name of the Lord. Someone's going to be standing stiffly for that name and teaching everything in the scriptures. And who is it? Who fits that prophecy? Who gets hated for just simply saying that they have 100% truth, right? It says 2 Timothy 4:2, preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Right, who pushes being instant in season and out of season, teaching all year round? Who pushes that, man? Right? Who whenever wickedness happens in Israel, who's quick to reprove and rebuke it, man? Right? Who fits this prophet? Well, it's not prophecy, but who fits this, man? Right? This was commanded to be done, and who's doing it? Right, Matthew 11:6, and blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. Now, this goes all back to what I was saying about certain of the, quote, doctrines, which they're not doctrines, they're just what the scriptures say. Right? Like, for instance, Esau can't make it. The so-called white man can't make it. Right? The world doesn't want to hear that. Well, even amongst Israel, you're going to have Israelites that look like so-called white people. Some of Israel don't want to hear that either. Right? Yahushua has come. Some Israelites don't want to hear that. Oh, show me where Yahushua is mentioned in the Old Testament. Looks like that's all I had. Right, but hey, the question goes, right? Well, it's not even a question, man. Look, man, Greatmillstone fit the prophecies. Greatmillstone fit the profile of what men of the Lord will go through, what men of the Lord will be like, right? And show me examples where I'm lying, man.